Imagine this. It's midnight and I hear pounding at my door. I open it to find men in police uniforms, badges flashing, shouting that I'm under arrest. But here's the twist. I'm the chief of police. What they don't know is that this is just the beginning of a wild showdown with Joey, the man behind this fake arrest. Stay tuned to see how I turn the tables. The men in fake uniforms tried to look official. Badges clipped to their chests, radios strapped to their shoulders. But something was off. Their boots didn't match regulation issue. Their belts were sloppy, mismatched. And the moment one of them opened his mouth, I knew. He barked out, "Turn around, hands behind your back!" But his voice shook. A rookie mistake, and then I saw him. Standing a few feet behind the fake cops, smirking like a kid who thought he'd just pulled off the prank of the century, Joey. My old neighbor, the guy who had a grudge the size of Texas. We'd clashed before. He hated that I didn't bow down to his little power trips, and now, here he was, escalating it to a whole new level. Neighbors were already peeking through curtains. Porch lights flicked on up and down the street. Joey loved an audience. He wanted me humiliated, dragged out in handcuffs from my own home. Inside, my blood was boiling, but I kept my face calm. Rule number 1, never show your cards too early. I studied the men closer. The badges? Cheap knockoffs. The cuffs? Wrong model. They'd done just enough to trick an average person, but not me. Still, I had a decision to make. Do I play along, let them think they've won, and gather evidence? Or do I end this circus right now and reveal exactly who I am, the real chief of police? My fists clenched. Joey leaned forward, whispering just loud enough for me to hear. "Not so tough now, are you, Chief?" And in that moment, I made my choice. One of Joey's fake officers stepped forward, fumbling with the cuffs. His hands shook as he tried to grab my wrist, and I almost laughed at how unprofessional it looked. But I kept my face stone cold. If I played this right, Joey would bury himself without me lifting a finger, hands behind your back, now. The man shouted again, louder this time, trying to sound commanding. I raised my hand slowly, pretending to comply, my mind racing. Every second counted. Across the street, I spotted Mrs. Delgado, my elderly neighbor, clutching her phone. She was calling someone, and I knew exactly who. Within minutes, real backup would be rolling in. Joey mistook my silence for fear. He strutted closer, chin high, his smirk widening. Looks like the big man isn't so big after all. Funny how fast things change when you're the one in cuffs, I let him gloat. Meanwhile, I shifted my stance, just enough to get a clear view of the fake badge on the man in front of me. One glance at the poorly etched lettering, and I knew I had all the proof I needed. The cuffs clicked around one wrist. That's when I leaned in and whispered just loud enough for Joey to hear, "You should have done your homework, Joey." Those badges, they're not even the right shade of silver, his smirk faltered. For the first time, I saw doubt flash across his eyes. And then, right on cue, the distant wail of real sirens cut through the night. The fake officers froze. Joey's face drained of color, and me? I straightened up, lifted my free hand, and revealed the badge on my chest. The look on Joey's face was priceless. 1 second, he was the king of the street, the mastermind pulling strings. The next, he was a deer in headlights, realizing the game was over. I raised my voice, loud and commanding, the same voice I'd used on hundreds of real arrests. "You're impersonating law enforcement. That's a felony. Drop the cuffs and step back." The fake officer holding me stumbled backward like his boots had turned to concrete. Another one muttered, "Joey, you didn't say he was—" But Joey cut him off with a hiss. "Shut up and grab him!" Too late. Red and blue lights flashed down the block, sirens wailing like Judgment Day. Real squad cars screeched to a stop, doors flying open as my officers poured out with weapons drawn. "Chief! You okay?" One of them shouted. I lifted my cuffed wrist and smirked. Late-night entertainment. Take these clowns in. Within seconds, the fake cops were on the ground, cuffed properly this time. Joey tried to run, but 2 of my sergeants tackled him into Mrs. Delgado's rose bushes. The whole neighborhood watched, phones out, recording every humiliating second. As they hauled Joey up, I stepped closer. "You thought you could embarrass me?" "You just embarrassed yourself in front of the entire precinct and the entire neighborhood," Joey sputtered, face red, eyes darting between the flashing lights and the cameras. "This isn't over!" he shouted, but his voice cracked like a teenager's. "Oh, it's over," I said firmly. "And tomorrow morning, when the judge sees the footage, you'll wish you'd just stuck to complaining at HOA meetings," the crowd chuckled. The officers nodded. Justice was served right there, under the glow of flashing lights and the stunned silence of a neighborhood that would never forget this night. When the dust settled, Joey and his fake officers were hauled off in the back of real squad cars. The charges? Impersonating law enforcement, attempted kidnapping, and a laundry list of misdemeanors. For someone who loved control, Joey had lost every ounce of it in front of the whole neighborhood. As I stood there, free and unharmed, neighbors started clapping. Mrs. Delgado even shouted, "That's our chief!" And honestly, I couldn't help but laugh. I'd faced criminals before, but this was personal. Joey had turned a grudge into a circus, and the only person who got humiliated was him. The next morning, word spread like wildfire. Videos from that night went viral in our town. People couldn't believe someone would go this far just to try and arrest the chief of police. Joey had wanted to make me look small, but instead, he became the punchline of every coffee shop conversation. Looking back, I realized something. Power-hungry people like Joey always trip over their own schemes. Sometimes, the best way to win is to stay calm, play it smart, and let the truth expose them. So, what would you do if fake cops showed up at your door in the middle of the night? Would you fight back or freeze up? Let me know in the comments. I love reading your stories. And if you enjoyed this wild showdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more crazy HOA and neighborhood tales. Until next time, justice always finds a way.